Google, heavy Google, heavy Google. QQQ, decent. And then Sark's okay, like a decent amount pick Sark into the. Actually, about half the people who pick Sark to get to the final four pick them to win it. So, and then Spy,
Okay.
a lot of Spy, really a lot of XLE. I'm kind of surprised at how much XLE there is.
I mean, actually, the run the Energy has had this year, I would not be surprised if it wins the first couple rounds.
By the way, Evan, we're just going to keep this space open, I think, at 12 and just roll right into charting. If that works.
Yes, sounds good. I am watching this NVIDIA event, about to be taking a train home, but I'll be chilling on here the whole time. I may not be able to speak much, but I'll be up here listening.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at seeing what else is going on. I was wondering, okay, Tesla's in the other side, right? So that's Final Four on the Apple, AMC, GME, AMD, QQQ, SARK side of the bracket. On the other side, I'm going to assume very heavy Tesla. I had to make an assumption.
No. It's going to be in the final Palantir and Sark.
So much NVIDIA. So much.
No, NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA loses the second round easily.
All right. I mean, Tesla kind of like obviously rolled here, but like, wow.
Can you bring up Rahul and Jeremy too from the audience?
I did invite them. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up? Why do you want me up, Gurg? I was just listening.
I need my new internal Gurgaon to be here. So.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, you gotta come back.
Yeah, Rahul. Last night I sent you a model, right? You predict the outcome of this. So what do we have till now?
The outcome of this? Yeah, so the outcome is...
as a quant guy, you did not do this, Rahul?
Yeah, the outcome is simple. Google's gonna win, Sark's gonna be second place.
Google has a lot of picks. So we just ran through from the data set right now, and we showed basically like percentages for each like pick. And Google right now is certainly a heavy favorite to go to Final Fours.
Boom, there you go, Gurg.
And then if we're looking at final amount of winners is super diversified, by the way, just so you know.
How's Sark doing? Wolf?
So Sark has about 1% of the final vote.
Gurg, any comments?
Now I'm gonna put this out there.
Bro, Apple has 3%, so I think Sark is the
Google only has.
Apple is 6.
Google has 3.4% of the final vote, so it's super diversified.
You know how you should measure Sark? Measure it against the other ETFs.
Yeah, let's do that if you can do that.
Because it can't just be like you can't compare Sark to like Google. Like it just wouldn't make sense. Even though Google's gonna lose, but it just
do we have UVXY? How about that? How much do we have for that?
Well, UVXY, I think we went over that one. It did not make it very far past QQQ.
And how about QQQ? What percentage do we have?
Dude, we just spent like 8 minutes on QQQ. I just went through every QQQ, every single round with Steven.
The problem is, right, I was busy with something. I was not paying attention.
I just did all the math for every round of QQQ.
Oh, no, talking about the final one, the final...
you want to know how many QQQ has in the final?
Yeah.
QQQ in the final. Let's see. Go down to the Qs. Not that many.
Is it less than Sark?
It has slightly more. 1.2%
so
more.
It's the same thing. Okay. How about the ES futures? Those guys seemed very confident for some reason.
Someone took ES futures?
Yeah. The ES futures, I don't think... I think they made it... They got picked a lot in their first round matchup, but I don't think that they really... Honestly, I'm not...
Gurgavin, I see we have a head of fixed income for you here.
What's up, Mr. Jeremy? Our new VP for fixed income.
You promoted him to VP after he hasn't been on Space for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's the new VP.
What's up, Mr. Gergavin? How we doing?
Pretty good. So, did you get the chance to run the model and compare this to the yield curve?
To the what? Sorry, what'd you say?
You do the yield curve, the 10-year and the 2-year, and compare the outcome of this matchup?
Okay, so I got a question. What date does the final commence?
The final?
I think Wolf knows.
Mr. Wolf. Mr.
Yeah.
Howe.
So all the dates for anybody that goes to the website, all the dates are at the top of the website.
I'm looking at April 25th is the final
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you can see it. It's all
Wait,
listed.
this is an entire month? Like into next month? Like I thought it'd be just March.
No, it's the first. Literally, only the first rounds in March, and not even the
Really? Oh, interesting.
Whole, yeah, I mean, think about it. March Madness goes in April.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's like first week they're done, right? Like NCAA wise.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't,
You
I
started
think
later,
that,
though. Yeah,
isn't
this
that
makes sense.
misleading from that? Shouldn't they move it back to like the first of March to keep it in March?
That's what I would
Madness?
think. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
Wolf, so you're gonna have these spaces every week?
I'm gonna be having these spaces every fucking day.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick.
Bro, like imagine being on Spaces daily. Like, how free do you have to be, bro?
Imagine spending 10 hours on spaces on a Monday.
Yeah, bro. Like, who would do that? Like, going live at 9:30 in the morning.
Imagine
Yeah.
8 hours in, chowing down a pint of Ben and Jerry's because you need the energy to get them through the next 2 hours.
Wolf, how's your new MacBook?
Well, it's gonna take like 2 weeks to come. I
I thought you had.
I
it
mean,
yet.
Apple is up, so I don't think he has it yet.
Yeah, Wolf, Apple's up.
I don't know. I guess so. Whatever.
No. He doesn't have it yet. I'm pretty sure
Retail
that Apple is up. The day he gets his hands on that, the
Yeah,
worst day
that's
for
the top.
Apple in its
This
power.
is the time to buy calls. This is the run up stage, where the top comes when I get it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is a bull trap. Wolf is
So
trying
it's
to
actually-
bag all of his followers by buying a new Mac. They seem like, the average spend per user will go up, the revenue will go up, beat the top within a few minutes, and that's when the rug pull comes, and he returns the product, and Apple loses revenue, and your calls get dragged.
Yeah. This is me rugging my followers on Apple.
He's gonna affect the bottom line for Apple.
The great
by-
app rug. I even bought their stupid 2-meter cord and paid fucking $40 for it. So hopefully they appreciate my dedication to the cause.
I mean, if you look at Apple and how much money you spend on Apple, like we would be way better off if we invested in Apple stock back then. The same with the capital.
Okay. What else am I looking at? What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Wolf, how we doing?
Pretty solid. What have you been looking at today in the market?
Pretty strong day, for especially these high beta large cap names, right? We had the Nvidia Investor Day. I'm seeing it selling off a bit here after that. I think the market, kind of rallied off this news we had this morning out of Zelensky. He said they're, working to finalize a potential agreement to remain neutral and, not join NATO, which was one of the Russian requests, for them to completely pull out of Ukraine. So could potentially have some impact there. I think it definitely did for the oil markets. We have US WTI crude down 3.7% here at 12 p.m. We'll see, if investors are really going to put emphasis on Zelensky's comments or, try it. We'll see if this dip gets bought up because, oil has been at the forefront of a lot of the market conditions right now. Other than that, I saw there was an interesting headline that came out of Nigeria that they got approval for, the second largest urea plant. And for people that don't know what that is, it's a nitrogen-based subsidy in a lot of fertilizer manufacturing globally. And if people don't know, one of the large commodity shocks coming out, stemming from this whole Russia-Ukraine debacle, is that those two nations actually export a pretty solid chunk of the world's fertilizer production. So I'm watching like some names like we got MOS, CF, NTS, seeing what they're going to do here, because these things have been on absolute tears, rightfully so, right? But when you start to question these supply demand imbalances, if something were to change on a dime here, I would I don't know if I'd go long a fertilizer company trading at 23 times next year's earnings. So definitely interesting stuff we got in the markets right now. Fixed income markets kind of falling apart. Credit markets, haven't really budged yet, but they usually come, after the Fed changes their tightening thesis. So yeah, interesting markets to say the least. I see we got SPX over 4,500 right now, so we'll see if we get this close over.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate the insight there. I like to see Gurgavin Capital doing its research.
Of course, yeah. Gurgavin has me working like till the wee hours of the night, so I'm
late night
functioning on not much sleep right now.
I feel you. Hey Ben, how's it going?
Hey Gav, good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry I didn't put out the tweet. Jake wasn't able to make it today, and we were kind of already running. And I was just like, listen, I'll let people kind of come in as they come, and we're kind of talking some live trading, a little bit different from the typical charting. But I'd love to hear what you've been trading, charting. Maybe we'll throw some requests at you. Plus, we just spent about an hour. We went through all the data of submitted brackets so far, and I gave out kind of percentages on what's been winning in each round. So happy to answer any questions there too.
Very cool. Very cool. Good response to it so far. Has it been a good turnout?
Yeah, we're definitely churning them out. I love to see it. We've had some pretty interesting data sets coming in too. Super diversified final picks. No final pick is more than 15%. Only Google, Tesla have 15%.
And Sark.
Everything else kind of making up the crumbs here. So we're kind of seeing the stuff play out. Plus, like, really interesting. Like, here's the most interesting data piece that we have so far. So in the first round, you have obviously Spotify versus GME, and then you have AMC versus I think it's PL, or maybe it's the opposite way. It's GM versus PL, GME versus PL, Spotify versus AMC. In the second round, if you take out of those four, 40% pick Spotify versus 25% each for each of the meme stocks, and then 10% for PL.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Kind of eye-opening. It not what we'd expect.
That's what I'm saying. So I think we're really going to get some upsets here.
Cool. It'll be just like the real tournament.
Exactly. So what have you been trading today? How you feeling? Another green day.
Yeah. Significantly overbought, but doesn't seem to matter. Still, stocks are still getting bid. AOSL was my big trade this morning through the pivot at 59.38. Was up double digits earlier, up about 9% now. One that I'm up a little bit in, but still waiting for the big move is this BRCC. A lot of eyes are on BROS, and I went the same theme. BRCC is also coffee, but a little bit of a different setup, and didn't seem to be as many eyes on it. So I took that coming out of the flag. It had a nice move earlier today. Now kind of going sideways midday. So waiting for it's up about 3%, but waiting for it to make up its mind. And the other big move of the day, that was Google. Google came through year to date anchored VWAP off of that power earnings gap. Came through this morning about 27.44 and just ripped through there, up about $61 since. I've noted too heavy call flow. Last week they were really aggressive into the Julys, and not just aggressive, but 3,200s, 3,300s, 3,400s. So those bets are much higher with Google trading at 2,800. So nice move through the anchored VWAPs off of that power earnings gap and year to date anchored VWAP. So now just looking for that to climb up the right side. You have an important pivot there above. 30, 30, 93 is the level above, but with those aggressive call bets, 3,200s through 3,400s, somebody really likes Google for higher.
I think they like it for that split that's coming right around then. That's going to be probably where they're throwing those bets on.
Yeah, very, very aggressive. So I'm not sure. Do we have a date on that yet?
I thought it was somewhere in July. I could be wrong. I don't know the exact date, but I bet that those leaps probably line up either with that or with the earnings that comes in the summer that usually Google crushes almost every time since I've been seeing Google for like the last decade.
Yeah, the interesting thing was late last week when I saw these aggressive bets in Google, they were also coming for Nvidia, Tesla, Apple. It wasn't just Google. AMD was another one. So it was like big cap tech, even Facebook. They were coming for, and started about Tuesday, Wednesday, and then went all the way through late last week. So, this move today, while even and just speaking tech in general, the NASDAQ up almost 2% earlier. Just not exactly what we kind of expected off the bottom. We were saying, oh, it's not going to be a V-type recovery this time, and it's going to be choppy action. And those aggressive bets last week were telling a different story and kind of saying that, they were going to be aggressive off the bottom again, and we're kind of turning it into another V-type rally off of the bottom.
How many times have we heard that now? I swear it's like I'm always hearing it's never going to be a V, and then like COVID 2020 and then 2018, and it always seems like exactly what people don't want to have happen is usually the outcome there for those rallies and reversals.
Yep, exactly. Always fooling the most, right? Whatever it has to do to fool the most participants, that's what it's going to do.
100%. Yeah, I can't see myself getting bearish unless we break that SPX double bottom, that I think it's like 4160 area. Until then, price rules everything around me. You got to just trade and play what you see.
Yep. I'm right there with you, buddy.
The split. The record date would be July 1st, and then the distribution date is July 15th.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Like you were saying, that's probably why they're so aggressive with the July calls.
Ben, I wanted to see your thoughts. So last night we typically do a space every Tuesday with like a panel of traders, and they all give stock picks for the week. But we did it on Monday this week because there was some stuff going on tonight for a few of them. So we're just going to do like another Market Madness space tonight and just have a couple people chat about their picks. So I have the picks from last night, and I pinned them up top. And so it's from Danny and like Trader Sync and Real Pristine Cap and Mel and Vegas and some others. I'm curious, do any of the names on there stand out to you? I can kind of pick out a few, but I'm just wondering if any of those are similar setups to something that you've been watching.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, looking around like semis. You look at AOSL and ACLS, they set up a nice little cup with handle patterns, came right through the pivot, big volume as they came through, right where you want to see it. So, just look, and it's not just limited to semis, which is what I like too. The agricultural names have been hot, and some others are joining this party. Like even today, this Darling Ingredients, DAR, same pattern, cup with handle pattern, 80-21 pivot, pushes through that 80-21 today, does it on like 200% increase in volume. That's exactly what we want to see in a healthy rally. For the last few months, we've really only seen oil and gas, the commodity names, metals, shippers. That's really all that was participating. And now we're seeing it really broaden out. You've got semis, internet retail, you've got the metals and miners participating. So I think it's really a lot more broad-based software really perking up. How long has it been since we've been able to talk about, nice runs in software names? And then even things like retail restaurants, we were talking about Bros and BRCC. So much more broad-based participation off of this bottom. And even though a lot of the setups look similar, if it's not a cup with handles setup, it's a double bottom setup like we see in NVIDIA. NVIDIA came through that 269.25 double bottom pivot. So the patterns are repeating. And that's exactly what we want to see. And then when you combine that with the broad participation as far as groups go, and then breadth, overall improving. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of something for everyone in this market right now, whether you're growth or value, if you're tech, if you're more commodity related, if you're crypto related. I mean, we saw some of those crypto related names like SI just tagged 150. That thing was trading under 100 a couple weeks ago. We talked yesterday about Mara, MARA. That one's got a double bottom pivot, 31.44. Right now it's trading around 30. CLSK is another one coming up to the 200-day. You're talking about a stock that just, the beginning of the year was trading $5 with a 5 handle, and now it's 12. So, like I said, a little bit of something for everyone right now. And I think that's very, very healthy and exactly what we want to see coming off of the recent bottom.
What about Tesla here?
I like Tesla here. I love that it's back above the 50-day. Just short term, and you're probably going to hear me say this about a lot of things. Back above the 50-day, that was the first step we needed. But you're 10% above the 10-day and 9% above the 21-day. Not that it can't run further, it can. I just think in the short run, things are a little stretched. What's this? 6 straight green days. If you're in from lower, just sit. It looks great. There's nothing really to do here. If you got in, either as it reclaimed the 200-day or reclaimed the 10-day, 20-day, nothing to do but sit. But from a short-term perspective, I think things are a little stretched here. Doesn't mean they can't go higher. It's just I'm not an aggressive buyer here. Now, if Tesla comes in, come on back in, to around that, let's say 900 level, and the 10-day allows the 10-day moving average to catch up, and it does that on light volume kind of flags here. I'd be jumping back in or adding to my position.
I just want to add one thing because I know Elon's been talking about dropping his master plan part 2. So whenever he drops that, I would not be surprised to see Tesla get a really nice pump, because last time Elon dropped that, I remember when he did it, like the day he did it like 10 years ago for master plan part 2, and Tesla definitely liked that. So I feel like master plan part 3 is going to incorporate, and he was like alluding to this, incorporate like things about SpaceX and Boring Company and how they might work together and a bunch of other things. So I'll be definitely looking out for that, because that'll be something that whenever that drops, it's gonna impact the stock quite a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd completely agree, and I think there's still plenty of room here. If it does want to run, there's plenty of room up the right side, 1200 plus, all the way up. So I definitely think there is plenty of room for upside here. It's just on the short term, I don't know that I'd be wanting to add or initiate here. but
I
I
agree.
was able to come in from lower. So
Yeah, this 950 right here is like proving to be resistance. That's where it gapped up on news back in October of 21. So, I think a close inside that bar over 944, probably more like 951 would be, a better look for continuation. Because right now it tagged right to the end of the opening bar on that October 25th big news spike. So definitely finding resistance as we're speaking about it.
What's up, Danny?
yeah, I'd be more
Sorry.
inclined. Look at something like Max or MAXR. I took a position in this a couple days ago, added to it yesterday. Big rounded base. It's in aerospace defense. It has plenty of room. It's coming off it's a little slower moving than a lot of the other stuff that we talk about, but I think it's in an A-rated group. You have other names like TGI in the group that are acting well, and they're not. It's not nearly as stretched, as some of the others. And I think, not only looking in aerospace defense, but the solar names. Again, hot today. They're not nearly as stretched. Speaking of like ENPH, Sedge, SEDG in that group. They're trading closer to like the 10 and 20 day. And I think there's still room there. I think it's kind of early in this theme and kind of in tying it in with what's going on with energy and oil. So like Sedge hasn't even pushed through it's another one with that cup with handle pattern, hasn't pushed through that pivot yet at 335.57. So if I was looking to put money to work right here and get involved, it wouldn't be on the stuff that's really run and is up 5-6 days in a row off the bottom and 25, 30, 40% off the bottom. I'd be looking for the stuff that's kind of consolidating, but very close to that pivot. And then you can, come in on that breakout and capture that big move. That'd be more of how I'd be looking. Like if I was underinvested off the bottom and looking to participate, I wouldn't be chasing the things, that are up 6 days in a row now. I'd be looking for more of those things that have kind of consolidated, moved sideways, but have a pivot nearby that could be really explosive as price comes through.
Wow, what's going on?
Nvidia is now red on the day.
I can't tell what's going on there.
That's Gerg yawning.
Gerg's yawning. He's tired.
All right. I'm liking the Tesla conversation. Danny, what's going on?
Nothing much. How's everybody doing here?
Good. What have you been trading today?
AMD this morning again. I caught it back to this previous high, 1766. Kept failing, so it's pulling back a little bit. I'm waiting for that breakout though. I'm day trading it now. I want to take a swing on it, but it keeps struggling with that level. So outside of that, this morning caught CYBR, nice symmetrical wedge breakout. Caught it through 163.50. Zscaler, I think Mel mentioned that last night. That looks pretty good through 220. What was the one I was just looking at that triggered? Took a second entry long on CrowdStrike. Let me call that back up. Through 206.91. So it's a nice move. We are coming into an anchored VWAP here. Let me just retrace that. Oh, we actually have apologies. We did break through that swing high anchored VWAP, but it's looking pretty good. I think we've got room. I mentioned CrowdStrike. I don't know if it was yesterday or maybe it was Thursday last week, but it looks like we've got some room up to about 242. It's a 50% retrace at 224, but we did get that double bottom breakout over 193.58 and took our first entry there. So yeah, look, CrowdStrike looking pretty good, and I like the cyber sector right now, just based on you know what's coming out of Russia in terms of just threats of using cyber warfare, cyber attacks. Something else that's been running pretty good, actually, nice continuation today is ZIP, ZipRecruiter. Had put out a trade alert at over 2107, and we hit our first target today, very close to 2373. Another one that is looking pretty good right now, put out a trade alert on 228. This is PANW, Palo Alto Networks. Just making a new high here over the early March highs. So we wicked through that 1272 extension, which was my second target at 603.83. But it's looking pretty strong, looking pretty good. I agree with Ben on EMPH. I did have a trigger on Friday on EMPH through 183.15. I really like these types of setups where you have the wedge breakout with the back test, the throwback back test, and that's exactly what we got on the 15th. And same with Ben. I wouldn't be looking to go heavy here because we've had 6 straight green days. But if we hold over 183.15, maybe if we consolidate for a couple of days here, watch for a move through 196 for a test of 200 and then 216 to the upside. Talking about consolidation names, Bloom Energy, ticker BE. It's got a nice broadening formation here. Consolidation on a gap up from February 28th. So I like that through $24. We have a lot of wicks over the last week and a half through $24, but I like the structure of this. Stacked EMAs to the upside, got room on RSI, and previous highs are in the mid 30s. So if we could break 24, I think we've got a shot up to about 28 and change. Outside of that, I'm just looking down my list. Pure Storage, PSTG. That was another alert that I put out on 320 for a break and hold over 3509. We're just triggering that today. We wicked through it yesterday and closed right on that trigger level. So I'd keep an eye on this one. Another one that's, it's moved, let's see, 6 straight days. So, you have to keep things a little tight if you're taking these breakout entries. Yeah, I mean, there's other names that I'm looking at, but also lithium. I think we talked about LAC on yesterday's 5 o'clock spaces. And we broke out yesterday. 29.50 was the trigger, and putting in a little bit of an inverted hammer here at my first target of 32.20. But yeah, I think if you look at, I think it's LIT is the ETF. That's looking like it's just about to kind of get going. So lithium, LAC, Lithium America Corp is leading the way here. So yeah, those are just a handful of names that I had on my watch list for this week that are looking pretty good today.
Daniel, I like where your head's at a lot, man, with the cyberspace. I actually noticed last night at the close, an hour before the end of the day, we started seeing ZS, Snow, Crowd, Net start perking up a little bit. So I went long those at the close, and those are doing nice today. I mean, taking a little bit off, but definitely, important to just know that there's always somebody who knows the news, right? Like this was definitely a result of Ukraine, Russia this morning, but they were buying those heavy at the end of the day yesterday, and so I just follow the money, right? Like follow the flows that you're seeing, and also big shout out to you, dude. I remember when you had 0 followers on Twitter, and you've blown up so quickly and with good reason. So, big shout out, man. Haven't been able to talk to you on a space yet, so
yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be with you, man. Definitely, I really appreciate that. Yeah, going back to what you said, exactly. Just follow the flow, but also understand that with the war in Ukraine, there's only so much more that Russia can do with boots on the ground. And so, if he wants to take things to the next level, then cyber is certainly the direction that I would imagine he would take. I'm a former military person, so I understand how these things can scale up, and it just makes a lot of sense. I mean, we live in in a digital world. We live in a cyber world, and companies like, you know, CrowdStrike are they're not going anywhere. So, but yeah, appreciate your words, Anthony. I really do. Thank you.
My pleasure, man. Yeah, I mean, check out Snow right here. It's got this like, I mean, like I'm trading it. Like I'm not a long-term investor in Snow, but definitely as far as a trade comes, like, you know, this 234 level high, after it just got sold off all the way down to the 160s. There's like a nice like 35-point gap there. So looking to see if we can get maybe a close near there and maybe a push through tomorrow. What I like about Snow is it's very similar to like how, you know, I think Coin and Tesla and Nvidia trade is once these things start running and they turn, they get just mad gamma flipping them all the way to the top. So definitely keeping that one on watch for a breakout in the coming days.
Absolutely. Actually, you know, it's got a nice gap fill to the upside on that earnings gap down. So I've seen a lot of these tech names have really good bullish divergence. And so catching that right here on Snow, CMG, Chipotle was another one, and also Shopify had a really massive bullish divergence play on RSI. And obviously we know what that's done in the last week and a half. So, but yeah, Snow looks pretty good. I think we just wicked through that gap down zone. So I think if we can break over today and close over, let's call it 225, 226, I think we've got a shot. There's a nice volume gap up above, right up to about 260. So wouldn't be surprised for Snow to go on a little bit of run if the markets cooperate.
I like that shop call out too. I actually weirdly had like a perfect line for where that thing bottomed on one of my charts. It was just like the top of a very big volume shelf. So got in there, but I'm looking at it now and it's like, obviously, like I like Shopify, I even like it at this price here, but running 200 points, you know, like I'm up 200 points on it in like a week and a half. It's like you were saying, Ben, it's hard to figure out, you know, whether you start taking profits on some of these big rallies now and looking for things that haven't run as much versus, you know, maybe that was like quote unquote the bottom for quite some time in those names, and then you just want to ride that out. So it's definitely getting close to the time when market participants are going to make that big decision on how they want to play the next, you know, coming months.
Yeah, you kind of try to get ahead of the rotation a little bit, where tech has had a big run, so maybe you trim a little bit of tech but hold the core, and then, you know, the ag stuff and the energy and commodities. Uranium's another one that's been hot. You kind of try to just stay in front of the rotation a little bit, trimming into strength and then buying on weakness. I'll add too, you guys mentioned cybersecurity, which I absolutely want to be involved. Hack is another way, HACK ETF, to get involved if you missed, you know, the breakout in like Palo Alto, PanW. HACK, it's kind of a little bit sloppy as far as it looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's a little bit sloppy, but 58.83, the level that I'd watch there kind of as the neckline, and you're below that at 57.95. But I think this is one that, you know, if you miss the individual name, can get involved at and get exposure to the group. If you missed, you know, like crowd off of the lows, I still think there's potential there. Definitely for all of these individual names to continue to run higher, and HACK is just a way to get involved. Kind of like with uranium too, CCJ and UUUU and some of those uranium names, you know, that are hot and have kind of paused here. So again, just like trying to stay in front of that rotation a little bit.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about CCJ for a few weeks now. I don't remember if it was Mel that brought it up or maybe Story Trading. But been watching that really closely. We did get a break over that $28 trigger yesterday, and we're putting an inside day in today. I wouldn't be surprised to see if this backtests 28. That was the prior high from early November. But yeah, the uranium names definitely look good, and I really do like the setup here on CCJ.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Mel was all over it, because that's another group that just has had a tremendous amount of flow, and it does appear that CCJ is the leader there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf, but I think that's her pick for March Madness, no?
It is indeed.
Smart girl.
She's
Smart
hoping
girl.
for a big run this week because it's going up against Apple in the first. So I didn't look at the numbers on that one, Evan, on Apple versus CCJ in the first, but I can't imagine that they look great. But yeah,
Yep.
uranium running.
Yeah, I
For
didn't know
any
what
of
was
you,
happening.
go ahead, man.
Sorry, was people able to hear Wolf there? I feel like he was speaking. Maybe it's just me.
What'd you say?
Oops, sounds like it's maybe just me. Sorry.
I think it's you, Evan. Are you on a train? I think he's traveling.
Evan's
What?
like cutting off.
I was gonna say maybe for those basketball the March Madness basketball fans, maybe CCJ pulls a St. Peter's.
So who does St. Peter's play next?
Oh, I'm not sure. I know they play on Friday, I think.
I had never heard of the St. Peter's Peacocks before in my life.
Yeah, they're actually not too far from me. They're in Jersey City, and the coach was a Seton Hall player, assistant coach at Seton Hall, I think, for 8 years. Really cool story, and it looks like the Seton Hall coach is going to be leaving. I think, got smacked in their tournament, so he'll probably move over as the new Seton Hall coach after this season.
Dan, you follow basketball?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
How about yourself, Ben? You too?
Yes, absolutely. St. Peter's plays Purdue Friday night.
There you go.
Very cool. Very cool. So do you follow more pros or college?
More pro, but March, it's all about college.
Are you a Heat fan?
I am a huge Heat fan from day one.
Oh, very nice. I went to the Heat game a couple weeks ago when they beat the Knicks in MSG.
I think I saw you post a picture of that, right?
Yeah, it was very cool being like 10 feet away from Jimmy Buckets.
Beautiful. Great atmosphere there. Fun. That's fun times. I miss it. Because I was born and raised in South Florida, but now I'm in Central Florida. So it's like impossible to be a Magic fan. Like you can't do it when you've been a Heat fan your whole life. But I'm like 20 minutes from the Magic.
Wait, the Magic have fans?
I've been to more than one game where the visitors outnumbered the Magic. So
I'm not saying that they don't have talent on the team. You know, just it's a rough scene.
The funniest thing, come to a Knicks game in Orlando. It's a little bit different. You have plenty of Knicks fans down in South Florida, but it's crazy how I think they outnumber the Magic fans at the home games here. It's crazy.
That's 100% true. Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Well, think about somebody like me, right? I'm a Knicks fan, lifelong Knicks fan, and then you have the New Jersey Nets, and of course, New Yorkers don't really like New Jersey people. And then the Nets come to Brooklyn, and I'm like a stone's throw away from their arena, from the Barclays Center. So it's tough. I kind of, and their practice facility is in my complex where my studio is. So it's an awkward position for me.
I get it.
At least you guys have to root for the Wizards. So, count your blessings.
I mean, I have to root for the Knicks, so I don't know if I am.
Yeah, but like I know who's on the Knicks. Like I know the Knicks starting lineup. I don't know the Wizards starting lineup. All right, let's just put that out there. Like, I really don't know who their starting lineup is. Brad Beal's out, right? So who's even playing for them? I know Denny Avdija because he's a Israeli guy that they drafted. I really don't know anyone else on the team.
You got Porzingis. You just picked him up.
Oh yeah, big old KP. He'll last about 10 games. Oh,
we got to shout out the Hurricanes too, who's probably going to be the number one draft pick. They took care of Auburn. Iowa State up next on Friday. So got to shout out the Canes who are still dancing too.
What do you mean number one draft pick? Are you talking about Jabari?
Yeah, I mean,
you think Jabari over Chet?
It's debatable, and we'll see. But there was a lot of talk leading into that, how they were just too big and going to dominate the Canes, and Smith's the number one pick, and Miami and Larinaga came up with a plan, and they led from start to finish.
I wouldn't say that they came up with a plan. I would just also, they did, yes. Yeah. I would also say that Smith's Smith's guards have no clue what they're doing, and like they simultaneously increase his draft stock and lower theirs. It's very
Yes.
impressive. Very impressive.
But you see how quick they double him, and they were determined someone else was going to beat them, and yeah, they really let him down. But on to the next round.
I'm looking forward to some chat on. Is it on Thursday? I want to see my guy out there, bringing it back. What's up, Anthony?
What's up? I got rugged on Spaces again, dude. Twitter just they love to sponsor Pounding the Table for Spaces. They love to rug me whenever I go on any space. It just happens that way.
Yeah, dude. How about Twitter running that 3-month Spaces Spark Host program, and then just at the end of it saying, "All right, we don't like you guys anymore. You can just go do your thing. We're done supporting." How about that?
Such a
Really?
life.
Yeah, they literally ran a 3-month program with us, and then like the first month, nobody had their shit together, and then the next 2 months, it was just like iffiness, like, oh yeah, we'll send you guys an email, but doesn't email us this week. Oh, we'll help you guys get verified, doesn't help us get verified. You guys, like this, that, and then the end of it comes, and everyone's like, listen, like we really didn't have a program here, like at least keep us for another month or two, even if you cut the money down that you're paying us, whatever it is. And then Twitter was like, nah, we're actually just going to delete the Discord we put all you in, and we're going to unfollow you from the Twitter Spaces account. You can have fun. Like, that's literally what happens. Anthony, am I saying anything wrong?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I'm not denying, so yeah.
Did they promote you as...
They did. They tweeted about me once.
Same.
I mean, I thought you said they will give you credits to run the ads, right, for your Spaces. Did they do that?
It was good. They did. Yes, it's correct. They did give me like $1,000 of ad credits, so that was good. And they said they were promoting my Spaces, but like they really should have continued this program. They had like 100 people who were like ride or die for Twitter, and we basically were told to F off, like pretty much. And I was like, all right, I'm taking that money Twitter just paid me and buying some puts. So, I'm just saying that we could use a little support out here. We want the love. We want to support back. I'm spending 10 hours, 11 hours a day on Twitter. I feel like they could keep this program running, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. We can bring it back to stocks if we want. Sorry, everyone. We went on a big March Madness tangent.
I feel the pain there. I feel it. Don't worry. It's warranted.
Yeah, it was like a nice change. I was like, because like I really didn't start ramping up Spaces to this level until Twitter was like, hey, you're accepted into the Spark program. We're gonna pay you every month. We're gonna support your Spaces. We're gonna give you ad credits. We're gonna have a Discord with you. We're gonna give you weekly email updates. I was like, okay, cool. Like I can do this 40 hours a week. You guys are really like showing initiative. You're showing that you're not the crap, doesn't care about producing revenue or supporting its creators, app that a lot of people have said for a long time. Like you really want to show difference here, and it was great. I just, it's like here we can bring this back to like March Madness. Ben, here's my comparison. It's like what team can I use here? Well, not March Madness. Let's just go pros. It's like the Warriors. Started out super hot this year, then Draymond goes out, Steph's out, and you're faltering, and now you're finishing slow. You're losing the 2 seed. You're falling down to the 3 matchup. You're going to play Denver. It's not great. It's not great. And you don't like the direction it's going in. What I want Twitter to do is pull a Celtics here, Start out pretty weak and weird, and who knows what's going on. And now you're moving up into the 2 seed, 3 seed. You're playing good defense. Like, I just want more Twitter. I don't know what you need. Maybe Ime Udoka needs to come in the building or something. I hope my basketball references.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's Zion versus Carolina in 2019, where the shoe breaks in the first 30 seconds. I was literally at courtside for that game, camped out for 6 weeks, got a lip tattoo, everything, and got rugged within 22 seconds, and the entire team was so demoralized just because like Zion Williamson, freaking monster, he's just the legend, just breaks his shoe in 22 seconds. You just gotta love it. I sat there for 2 hours just being like, why did I go to this school?
I was so disappointed watching that on TV. I cannot imagine how it must have felt to be there.
Dude, it was my birthday. It was literally my birthday, and I had camped out with like me and my buddies. So like at Duke, you have like you camp in Kville, so like Krzyzewskiville, where it's like Coach K, and you sit there for like 6 weeks. You rotate out between 12 people to where like at first it's like 6 people have to be in the tent at all time, then 5 and 4, then eventually just one like towards the end of it. So like we had been camping out in the snow, switching off for like the better part of 6 weeks, mind you. Like classes didn't stop, life didn't stop. We just made it a part of our day, all for this game that just was over within the first 20 seconds, and then he didn't play the entire time. He's busted his knee, and we just got wrecked by UNC. So it was not the best. And then nobody went out because we lost, so that I couldn't do nothing on my birthday night.
That's crazy. Well, that's crazy. I hope everybody went down my rabbit hole there with basketball references. If you don't follow pro sports in the standings, you probably have no idea what I just talked about. But I basically said I want Twitter to do better. Do better, Twitter. Okay. I think we're going to do maybe like 10 more minutes here. Sorry if you hear like shaking. I was just walking my dog while we were doing this. All right. Let's see what else is going on. I see Avi's back in the crowd too. Let's see. Stocks. TST, are you making any other trades? Gerg, did you make any trades today? Did you follow any of those scalps from the Discord?
I did not. Did you?
No. I mean, well, I did make one quick trade today, but not from the Discord.
What do you play?
PDD.
With TSTR?
I cut it too early. It actually went green. I just cut for like basically no loss. But it actually did go green. So shout out to anyone who made money off that.
Look at GME and AMC though.
What am I looking at? Are they up like 10%?
Wolf,
GME on 20% now.
The meme stocks are making a little rundy right now.
GME's up 20%?
Yeah.
Wow, 22%. Damn. Listen, this is the Market Madness boost. That's what I'm saying.
So
came out, we gave them a lot of free press.
Wolf, on that PDD, I was just reviewing it a little bit ago. I ended up entering too early, so on this pullback, I entered. Anyways, I just drew the lines probably poorly, to where if I would have had it where I wanted it, where I should have gotten it. Looking at this, it's hard to explain without looking at it. But the 5-minute candles here from 10:55 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. I should have taken that 11:30 a.m. breakout instead of this 11:15 candle. That's where I went wrong. I thought, okay, it pulled back, held the 9 EMA, and we're breaking above previous highs. I can take this here. When in reality, it still needed to a little bit more pullback on it, where if I would have taken this actual cleaner trend line break over 47 on this 11:30 a.m. candle, that would have been the ideal entry. So it just the chart kind of goofed me a little bit, but yeah, it ended up working a little bit, not as much follow through as I would have liked. But yeah, since then I took a short on PDD, closed that out already. Took a short on Nvidia, quick scalp at about 269.84 was the price of Nvidia when I entered. Covered those. I'm all out of that now, and yeah, took a stab at some BBBY, just throwing out some profits from today on some BBBY in case the memes keep going a little bit. Might as well try it a little bit. But other than that, that's it. To clarify, I've got the $25 calls on BBBY for 55 cents, which is it's currently sitting at 55 cents. So just a little interesting thought. I've got less than half of a normal position size in that trade right now.
Okay.
Was I skipping out?
Yeah, unfortunately, still kind of skipping. Like I got pieces, but yeah, something skipping there. All right. I just get followed by a fake cooked up options account. Okay.
This looking intraday does look like we're trying to come out of kind of an intraday flag here. This pullback now bumping back to the upside. I thought maybe we'd come back and test intraday VWAP, like on the Qs, but we didn't quite get there. 354.58 was what I was looking for, and we came down, kind of tagged that 355, and now bouncing. So it'll be interesting to see if we kind of come out of this intraday flag without testing VWAP. Man, that'd be like, considering how far we've come in a short period of time, that'd be pretty aggressive.
Which one's that on?
Just referring to like intraday, whether you're looking at the Qs, the SPY, NQ, ES, any of those. We kind of had that nice steady trend move higher this morning, then came back in. And, like if you're looking on a 5 or 10 minute chart, you'll probably have 7 or 8 candles, or as many as 12, 14 candles where you're coming in and you're coming back in towards VWAP, the anchored VWAP intraday. So it kind of looked like we were coming in to test that, but then kind of started to U-turn and round up now before actually getting to VWAP. So that's all I was implying. If we come out of this kind of flag to the upside, it just again shows how aggressive the buyers are. Because normally when you get a pull like that intraday, you normally come back, test VWAP, and then bounce. And in this case, we didn't even make it to VWAP. And, when you consider that we're, up for like 6 straight days, and they're not even letting them come into VWAP intraday, it just kind of shows how aggressive the buyers are.
Like you said, Ben, it's the FTMP, so it's like F the most people kind of moves where, we go down for weeks at a time and then we'll rally for weeks at a time. It's like, I'm seeing like pretty thin air to 4,600, and I know 4,600 is a huge key level on ES, like SPX, regardless. So, I mean, I still think we've got some room to grow. Like maybe we'll come back down maybe 48.80s or so, but I think that you've got Fed finally doing something last week, which it's not like fixing anything at all, really. It's just saying that, hey, like we're finally going to start doing things and not necessarily just kicking the can down the road, even though effectively they're still kicking the can down the road, just a tiny bit less force at every kick. And then you've got, the Zelensky and Ukraine and Russia talks right now that are seemingly better than the news flow that was happening a little while ago. So you had everyone short, everyone hedged, and you're just getting the reverse of that, where all these puts got just wrecked and expired into OPEX. And we had that Monday dip, which I actually sold like pretty much most things on Friday, just expecting that post quad witching you'll see the market like level back out. But we came back just as fast. Like a lot of the dips yesterday were getting bought at the close, so I wouldn't be surprised to see us just carry a little bit. Like I know at some point this huge spike up is going to come and get retraced and have some consolidation and basing, which is what you want. You want that. Like it is definitely like a high risk, high stakes market right now, just knowing that you could have growth down 5 or 6% tomorrow. You could have it also up 5 or 6% tomorrow. So it's really just depending on the flows. But when you get a big update like this and you see a bunch of different sectors doing well, like you got even like SOX semi sectors up like 0.7%. So that's still like lagging a bit. So you've got a few things that could still run a nice amount, like the Ruts trailing 0.6% versus NASDAQ 1.67. So I do notice that every time the NASDAQ's running higher than the S&P 500, it's definitely like more than just the flows that are just flipping everything back. Because what you'll notice is like in a bear market, most of the time you'll have the SPX and you'll have tech and you'll have the standard indices, and even the RUT usually sell off in equal percents because it's just algo bot selling that's just doing it in equal amounts most of the time. And when you start getting like less correlations between everything in the market, you've definitely starting to see a healthier market. So I always tweet that less correlation equals better market, because when everything's getting crushed because of liquidity or crunch or whatever it might be, it's very much a 1-to-1 sell-off. So still looking pretty decent here. I'm adding some snow just for the next few days. I got out in the morning around 2:30, just wanting to get back in, just thinking that gap up 30 points looks too enticing for me to not play it in the coming days.
Love it. Great points. Great points. Okay.